back to the big man, Ryan Krauser. He's already treated us to two of the furthest throws ever seen in men's shot put history. He is 6 centimetres short of his own world record. Round 4, he says yes.
And he is the greatest American Olympian currently competing. Or is he? Welcome world to the Athletics Fans A1 channel here on YouTube. Facts, not fiction, and lots of opinion. Mine, that is. I am your host, Randall. Now let's get into this. Now I just said that I believe that Mr. Ryan Krauser is the greatest American Olympian currently competing. And I'm right, but that would be a really short video and not fit for purpose. And not why we're here. We're here to inform each other, discuss, and to provide evidence and facts of our arguments. That's why we're here, so let's get into it. So, first, the facts. Mr. Ryan Krauser is 32, born December 18th, 1992, Boring, Oregon, USA. Yes, he was born in Boring, Oregon, a town that I am sure is not boring, though you'd have to ask him. He's 6'7" tall, 145 kilograms in weight. North Americans, you do the conversion to imperial, as we call it, because in Europe, we're all about the kilos. Sorry. Right. Formerly coached by Mr. Mac Wilkins, and now coached by Lawrence Boogie Johnson. What a great name. Notable achievements. 3-time Olympic champion in the shot put, 2016, 2020, 24, and twice in 22 and 23, and a silver medalist in 2019. Now, I'm going to tell you all about 2019 in Doha at the World Champs, the greatest competition in shot put history. I'll break it down for you a bit later. But now, on to more facts. Now we're going to establish via facts why he is who he is, okay? And why he is the sole subject of this particular broadcast. He deserves it. He is the indoor and outdoor world record holder. Now you can hold the outright world record, okay, with an indoor effort. They all count. And that's the same for all field events that can take place indoors. Of course, the hammer can't and the javelin can't for obvious reasons. The outdoor world record, his personal best, of course, is 23.56 meters. For the North Americans out there, who I know are many, hiya, bless you. Imperial measures, 77 feet, 3 inches and a half. Okay, he also holds the Olympic record and the World Championship records indoors and out. How's about that for domination, people? You know, if that's not domination, what on earth is? Mr. Krauser has this event down on lock. Okay, more facts of the interesting kind. Those were more stats. Now, facts about the man himself. Now, as a youngster, he was tall, of course, but also skinny. Now, he weighs currently about the same as 2 average-sized people. But back then, as a teen, he was, tall and skinny by his own admission. Very sporty, though. Tried many different sports. Loved basketball. That was a favorite then. And also tried, of course, American football in multiple positions. Early in his career, he set a national high school record for the indoor shot put and the outdoor discus, and he won gold in the shot put at the 2009 World Youth Championships. Now, there are a couple of the greatest athletes that we've ever seen who were great as youths and went through the ranks to basically dominate as seniors. Veronica Campbell-Brown is one. She won multiple titles from youth onwards, and the great shot putter in her own right. Dame Valerie Adams from New Zealand. Now, I will do a show on her, just like this, somewhere down the line. A fascinating person, athlete, and great shot putter too. But this is about Mr. Krauser. Now, he's not only a massive unit, greatly athletic, powerful and strong. He has a great brain as well. Now, in the UK at least, we don't have valedictorians when we finish high school. But in America and North America, I believe it's a thing. Basically, the valedictorian is the brightest and the best of the graduating class. That was him when he left high school, okay? So a great brain as well. He completed his formal education at the University of Texas with a master's degree in finance. So a well-rounded person. His mother, I'm sure, is so proud of him, and why wouldn't she be? Right, more interesting facts. Now, this fascinates me, maybe more than anything else. He comes from a family of elite sportsmen. His grandfather threw the javelin in the 1950s. He may have competed for the army, I'm not certain, but I think he did. His father was a discus thrower. Both his uncles threw the shot and javelin. In fact, his uncle Brian made it to 2 Olympic Games as a javelin thrower in 1988 and 1992, the year Ryan was born, coincidentally. His cousin Sam also made an Olympic team in 2016, also in the javelin, and they were roommates in Rio, interestingly enough. Now, it appears on his father's side, the Krausers have athletics all over their genetics. I rhymed, I'll say it again, athletics all up in their genetics. There we go. Right, moving on. Now, if you have seen the shot put, but actually don't know what it's called, that could be the case, because some people are casual sports viewers, and hopefully you guys are here too if you're interested to find out more about track and field. I am that guy. I am that resource on YouTube for you. So I will tell you all about the shot put now. Okay. The shot put is an explosive event and very technical. The shot itself weighs 16 pounds or just over 7 kilograms and is 110 to 130 millimeters in diameter. That is 4.3 to 5.1 inches. The lady shot is smaller, obviously, but the men's, of course, is bigger. Now, the shot circle from where you throw the shot is about 7 feet, 2.1 meters in diameter. A toe board is at the front, okay, about 4 inches high, that stops you from shuffling out of the shot put circle. Now, when you are throwing the shot, you cannot leave the circle. If you do or touch the ground outside of it, it's a no throw. Now, you could have thrown 25 meters, as one day probably Ryan Krauser will, which would be a crazy world record and probably unbeatable for the next century. If you throw that and touch the ground outside of the shot put circle, it won't count. So in terms of how your throw is measured, it's the side of the shot nearest to you all the way to the edge of the circle, okay? That's how it's measured. Now, it's not evolved greatly as an event over the years. Now, when I was growing up, everybody, most people did the glide technique. And I actually remember it was the Americans that were doing the rotational technique. I'll explain both now. Now, with the glide technique, you begin with your back to the field, okay? Right? You have your shot set on your neck. You crouch down quite low and you shuffle backwards at the last second, rotating your entire body towards the field and launching the shot from your neck, okay, as best you can, at the perfect angle from your neck, through your outstretched arm towards the field. But now Mr. Krauser and other athletes do the rotational technique. Now that is way more, I think, difficult because once again, you begin with your back to the field. The shot is here. Now you tend to crouch at the beginning of the glide technique, but you stand for the rotational technique pretty much. You can tilt your body forward a bit, okay, but I believe Mr. Krauser is very upright to start with, okay? and you rotate your entire body, I think 2 or 3 times, okay, then release, okay, as you are in front of the field, from the neck into the field. Okay, so you rotate across the circle and launch it from your neck into the field, all right? I hope that's clear. Okay, that's Mr. Krause's preferred technique. Now, his training is very specific, lots of compound weight training. So deadlifts, bench presses, all of that good stuff, and a lot of course, technical work interspersed into that. He typically trains 5 days a week with 2 days off for prehab and rehab. Arguably, when you're training, your prehab and rehab are arguably your most important days. You need to recover, especially guys the size of Ryan Krause, who are no doubt throwing, weights around the gym, as it were, like they were, like candy or whatever. Okay, right, so his diet now, that is as incredible as the man himself. Now, I couldn't quite believe this, but apparently this is true, and it came out of his own mouth. Trust me on this. Okay, so each meal that he has is 1,000 kilos. Sorry, 1,000 kilos. I wish. He's not a blue whale. 1,000 calories, okay? 2 breakfasts, 1 lunch, and 2 dinners. As I've said, the calorie count is crazy per meal, okay? Now that is what? 5,000 calories a day if my fundamental and basic maths is correct. An average man, me, I can hit between, I guess, no more than 2,500 a day, and I'm not a great eater myself, but yeah, that's, guys like me, that's what we eat daily. But Mr. Krause is not a guy like me. He's a colossus, as I've said. Okay, now that said, he doesn't really like eating. Now, I suppose when you're eating purely to fuel your massive frame, it becomes a joyless experience because it's all about the fuel, and not the more sensory aspects of food, which most of us can enjoy on a daily basis if we so choose. He enjoys fishing to relax, and if he were not a professional shot putter, he'd be a pro fisherman, according to him. Interesting. Now, a little bit about his personal life. He's happily dating a fellow athlete, a pole vaulter called Megan Clark, and by all accounts, they're very happy together, and all the best to them there. Okay, now I mentioned the World Championships in Doha in 2019. Now, in terms of an athletics competition of any of the events, according to stats people, pundits and fans, that was the greatest shot put competition ever. I'm going to put a link to it below so you can see it in all of its glory. It was amazing. I saw it live, of course. On this occasion, Mr. Krause was not the champion, though he usually is. This time it was Mr. Joe Kovacs, a great athlete in his own right, another American, who won it in a championship record of 22.91 meters. Okay, now that was a championship best at the time. Basically, that means the furthest distance or the quickest time at a World Championships ever. He had the record then. Now, in second and third place in identical throws was Ryan in second and Thomas Walsh in third, 22.90 respectively. Okay, now here's where the drama comes in. Right, Thomas Walsh, I believe, okay, who was third, okay, threw his best throw first. Okay, no doubt shaking up the field quite badly, because of course first throw 22.19. I'm sure a ripple of fear went through the field, but and those guys are not small, so that's no mean feat there. Okay, so a great start. Ryan's first throw was, by his levels and standards, a modest 22.36, and Joe Kovacs in his first round also threw 20.90. So Joe and Thomas really did go for the kill on their very first throw. Ryan was behind. Now, here's where the drama comes in, right? Joe Kovacs was ahead for pretty much all of the competition, okay, till it came to his final throw, his last throw from 6, okay? That is when he launched the shot from his considerable neck, 22.91 meters. So he won in the last round by 1 centimeter. Okay, pure drama. It was amazing. Like I said, check it out below. Now, Ryan and Thomas threw identical distances to earn silver and bronze respectively. Now, in the field events in athletics, if 2 people have identical distances, whoever has the next best throw takes precedence over the other. So on this occasion, Ryan threw 22.71 and Thomas threw 22.56. Now, a bit more about why it's very important in the field events to try to register 6 or more, if you're eligible, valid throws, jumps or vaults, because Thomas came 3rd because his next best throw, as I said, was 22.56, but he only had 2 valid throws. So his chances of winning gold were diminished considerably by not taking and making 6 valid throws. Joe Kovacs did 20.90, 21.63, 21.24, 21.95 and 21.94, and like I said, the winning throw of 22.91. That is how you want to perform field events at the highest level. You want to take and perform 6 valid jumps, vaults or throws, because count back may count against you, but in this case they didn't. Okay, and actually looking at this, his second best throw was 21.95. So had he of done the same distances as Ryan and Thomas, he would have won anyway. Okay, so that's why it's important in the field events to register if you can, and all the greatest tend to, the Carl Lewises of the world, etc. They tend to do or perform 6 valid throws, jumps or vaults. Guys, it's all going to be down there for you in the description, okay? Watch it at your leisure. You will be entertained, as Maximus said. Are you entertained? Yes, you will be if you watch that competition. That is linked below. Right, okay. Those are the facts of the broadcast. Now, the opinion, my opinion. Now, it kind of makes me feel a little bad that Mr. Krauser, currently, after all he's done, after all that I've broken down for you, one of the most dominant people in their sport, any sport today, in North America, is not held in the same regard as a Tom Brady, a Michael Jordan, an Otani or a Gretzky. Okay, now I know that Otani and Gretzky are Japanese and Canadian respectively, but they are very much a part of the culture of North America and the USA, and Americans can testify to that quite easily. My thing is though, now, currently, athletics is not seen as on the same level as those 4 American sports, and that's probably why Ryan Krauser can walk around unrecognized mainly. Now he appears to be a very, very humble, well-rounded person who's not in it to be famous, but it would be nice if one day he can attain the same heroic status as the 4 people I've mentioned in sport, but also in his home country. Hopefully that will all change in LA 2028. Should Ryan be fit and healthy, he will go to LA 2028 as probably the favourite for gold. Should he attain gold in LA 28, he will be only one of 3 human beings in all of human history and in all of athletics to have achieved 4 Olympic gold medals in 4 consecutive games. Al-Erta discus being the first, and Mr. Carl Lewis the second in the long jump, okay, from 84 to 96. coincidentally in Atlanta. Now, if ever you want to become legendary or perform something that no one's ever done before, or few have, the Olympic Games on home soil is the place to do it. Mr. Lewis did it, and I hope Ryan does it. If for no other reason than to cement himself as an American hero, because he deserves to be. He so deserves to be. So, at the time of recording this, we're looking forward now to the World Champs in Tokyo. They're back in Tokyo after being there for, it was the third edition, I believe, in 2001. That's right. My brain sometimes, okay? That was a great World Champs as well, okay? Because that was, of course, where the men's 100 meters was won in one of the greatest races ever. I believe all 8 men ran under 10 seconds, and Carl Lewis came from absolutely last place to blitz the field. And of course, in that same championship, the great Mike Powell beat Carl Lewis and broke the standing world record there of 8.9 meters. Mr. Bob Beamon from the '68 Olympics. So it was a great World Champs. Hopefully, Tokyo 2025 will be as great as those games, and hopefully Ryan can be there to, let the world know that he's still the man to beat in the event. You never know, we may see a world record, or I assume a championship record at the least. That's if all is well and Mr. Krauser gets there in one piece, which I hope he does. And if he does, it will just cement to me and everybody who knows and loves this sport how great this man is. And hopefully he can maintain his greatness to LA 2028 and become the American hero that he so richly deserves to be. I am a complete fanboy of this guy. I make no apology for it, because how often do we see men, women, human beings in any sport being so absolutely dominant and great over such a long time, especially in the Olympic Games? So I'm gonna sign off for now. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm just starting out, and your support, which of course costs you nothing but a few seconds of your time, will help the channel to grow into something that I hope, a resource that people can go to who love the sport, who love to hear the sport's great and good and the controversies and dramas discussed in an articulate, high frequency way. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for this channel. So like and subscribe if you're of a mind to, and I will see you next time on the Athletics Fans A1 channel right here on YouTube. Love yourselves, love each other, and love athletics.